about Manchester United, because it looks like we could see a flurry of activity before the deadline. I mean, probably, Dan, the most surprising, though, of them all is that man behind you, Kobbie Mainoo. Are you surprised we're even sat here talking about him potentially leaving Manchester United?
Well, yeah, I mean, I heard he got linked with Real Madrid today. I don't see that. I really like him. I think he's a really good player. When he broke into the team, he was fantastic, and it was probably this academy graduate coming in is going to be sort of the saviour for Man U in that midfield. It just hasn't quite happened under Ruben Amorim. For a few reasons, really. Obviously, Casemiro's there. He's on a long contract, big wages. He's playing. They spent huge amounts of money on him. They've dropped Fernandes down as well. But again, it's the legs issue in midfield. I don't believe Kobbie can get about the pitch as much as a Carlos Baleba, say. But I do really like him technically. I think he can add something to that team. But again, playing him and Casemiro together, it doesn't work. Him and Bruno probably doesn't work. So yeah, it's a huge issue for Manchester United.
Ruben Amorim, Ruben Amorim's come out and basically said he's almost Bruno Fernandes' position. This isn't that long ago that he was starting for Man United, scoring the winning goal in an FA Cup, starting for England in a Euro final. And when you look at Manchester United's options in midfield, they don't have a lot. But is the problem that he feels like he is Bruno Fernandes' position?
That's what Ruben Amorim feels. Initially, when Amorim came in, Mainoo got a lot of opportunities. But we saw in the second half of last season, when he came back from injury, he didn't feature at all, really, in the latter stages of the Europa League. He got that really important goal against Lyon, which got them through to the semi-finals, but didn't feature much at all. He came on with 1 minute to go in the final against Tottenham. And as you say, Amorim reiterated the fact that he is seen as the deputy to Bruno Fernandes. And Bruno Fernandes started all but 5 of the 60 matches United played last season. And he's set to predominantly play in midfield now because you've got Cunha and Mbeumo. We wait to see whether that changes based on how United perform in the first few games of this season. But Dan mentioned it there, and mobility is seen as the main issue for Kobbie Mainoo in terms of playing that role alongside Bruno Fernandes. You could argue Casemiro doesn't have the mobility that Mainoo does, but it's seen as he isn't that player to play alongside Bruno. But I think Amorim has built up a lot of credit with United fans, despite the fact the results have gone against him. With the Marcus Rashford situation, they've supported him. With the Alejandro Garnacho situation, they've supported him. I think it'll be really difficult if Kobbie Mainoo departs the football club, because there's a real connection between United fans and the academy. And if he departs, then there's a real danger that you won't be in a situation where Manchester United go into a match day with an academy graduate in the team. And it's a proud record that United have. It's gone back to 1937. It's a run of 4,323 games. If Mainoo departs, then that is under real risk. And it's something which United are very proud of. I'm not saying that's the reason you keep Kobbie Mainoo, but it would be really disappointing. I think United fans would find it hard to stomach if Kobbie Mainoo, albeit he's not an important part of the squad at the moment, is to depart.
Yeah, it does feel like there is still a big part to play for Kobbie Mainoo in that Manchester United midfield, but we will wait to see what happens with him. Anthony is the next one to discuss, James. It looks like Real Betis might get him permanently.
Yeah, this is a slight change in approach. I don't think Real Betis have a huge amount of money to play with this summer, and so they were always pushing for a loan with an option to buy. But Manchester United, because of the amount of money they've spent on Anthony, and because he was on loan there last season, they want to be in a situation where they sanction a permanent exit and bring some money back in. United haven't been great at selling players over the course of the last few years. They weren't even great at selling players under Sir Alex Ferguson. It's something they really want to get much better at. He's had lots of different offers. There's been interest from the Saudi Pro League. There was links with going to Bayer Leverkusen, where Erik ten Hag is. Erik ten Hag sanctioned the transfer for United for Anthony to become the second most expensive signing in United's history. But it does look like a permanent deal could be done here. They've made clear in negotiations, United, that a straight loan simply isn't going to be what they're looking for right now. So it does look like he could return to Betis, and it could end what has been clearly a very disappointing chapter for Anthony at United. I think he's ready for the move as well.
Yeah, it feels like a couple of other players could be ready for a move. Those are Rasmus Hojlund, Jadon Sancho and Alejandro Garnacho. Man United just are in a position now where they really just need to get, especially, I suppose, Garnacho and Sancho out of the club. Yeah, especially them two. Rasmus has obviously just come up recently. Still not sure why Newcastle haven't gone for Rasmus Hojlund, to be honest. A loan move for the year. I think 23, still loads of room for development. In spells, he's done all right for United. He's been playing in a poor United team the last probably 1-2 years, which has found himself unlucky in that situation.
With Sancho, yes, he needs to leave for the good of his career. There's 1 or 2 European clubs sniffing around for him, but not sure what he actually wants. And then Garnacho, it's looking like Chelsea, or it has been looking like Chelsea. There might be a surprise in the last few days of the window, but it's looking like Chelsea. And yeah, they need obviously, they've sold 1 or 2 players last week, Chelsea. So yeah, that looks to be getting tied up probably a few days.
Yeah, interesting to see if Gianluigi Donnarumma ends up in the Premier League. James, Alejandro Garnacho, touched on him briefly. I think he's made it pretty clear that he just only wants Chelsea, but currently the clubs are quite far apart in valuation. But I mean, if he stays at Man United, then what?
I think we'll get a compromise on this over the course of the next few days. United want £50 million. Chelsea believe he's probably worth around half of that because of the situation he's in at Manchester United. Frozen out, not on the first team picture. I know Ruben Amorim says that players will be reintegrated if they don't get a move, but that feels like a negotiation tactic. But Chelsea are in a situation where they will only make more signings if players depart for good money. And Chelsea have sold really well this summer, but they are faced with that UEFA restriction whereby they need to make a profit coming out this transfer window. So if they can get good money for Nkunku and Jackson, then I'd expect them to hit the push button on the deals for the likes of Xavi Simons and Garnacho. Garnacho remains committed to Chelsea. It looks like he only wants Chelsea. Chelsea's probably on his mind since January when it became clear that he's a long-term target for Chelsea. I do think it will happen. There'll have to be compromises from Manchester United when it comes to fee, as there will have to be compromise with Chelsea when it comes to the fees they're going to get for the likes of Nkunku and Jackson, who clearly aren't part of the first-team picture. And
Millionaire reinforcements. United investing heavily. Manchester United isn't messing around this transfer window. They've already spent a whopping $214.5 million on reinforcements. Let's take a look at the names. Benjamin Sesko. The Slovenian striker arrived from RB Leipzig for $74 million. Gary Neville has already made it a point to say that the player needs to play against Grimsby Town to get into rhythm. The problem? Neville warned that with Sesko on the field, United could be more vulnerable defensively. Brian Mbeumo joined from Brentford for $71 million. A substantial investment that demonstrates the club's ambition. Matheus Cunha left Wolves for $62.5 million. Another significant addition to the attack. Diego Leon. The Paraguayan prospect cost Cerro Porteño £7 million. These are impressive numbers. But will these investments yield the expected returns? Controversial departures. Who is leaving Old Trafford? Now let's talk about the exits, and look. There are some very tense situations here. Anthony, the Brazilian situation is breathtaking. The player is so desperate to leave that he left his mansion and is living in an airport hotel. That's right, you heard it. He's forcing a $36 million transfer to Real Betis. Ruben Amorim has been clear. He has no future at United. Alejandro Garnacho, here we have a bombshell. United and Chelsea already have a comprehensive agreement for a $50 million transfer, including bonuses. Some details are still pending, but negotiations are well underway. Mainoo. And look at this turnaround. United has reduced its asking price for the midfielder. Brighton has already opened talks, and Real Madrid and Atletico Madrid are keeping an eye on him. Fans have noticed that the player appears visibly down, barely smiling during games. Jadon Sancho. He continues to train separately from the main group. Inter Milan has joined Roma in the race to sign him. Goal and midfield movements. Altay Bayindir turned down an offer from Galatasaray. The Turkish goalkeeper wants to compete for the #1 spot with Andre Onana, a warrior's attitude. But United is also eyeing Royal Antwerp's Sene Lammens. The fee? $17 million. The player wasn't even included in the Belgian team's last game, a sign that negotiations are heating up. And there's more. United could enter a bidding war with Chelsea for Barcelona's Fermín López. The price? No less than $60 million. Randall Kolo Muani was offered, but the Frenchman preferred Juventus. Amorim and his tactical decisions. Ruben Amorim is making his mark in technical command. Hojlund is available for the game against Grimsby Town. Mazraoui is expected to return only next week. The coach confirmed that he will make full rotation for the League Cup due to the 3 games in the week. Amorim was direct. We have quality players and we need to rotate them to try to win every game. The philosophy is clear. Use the entire cast intelligently. Confirmed departures and releases. Victor Lindelof and Christian Eriksen were released without cost. These departures free up space in the squad and on the payroll, allowing for further investment. These releases show that United is undertaking a real restructuring, cutting fat, and investing in players who fit Amorim's project. It's clear that Manchester United is undergoing a complete transformation. $214.5 million has been invested, controversial departures like Antony living at the airport, and an Amorim who isn't messing around. The question remains, will this overhaul work? Can United retain top talent like Mainoo? And will Sesko be able to adapt quickly? One thing is for sure, this transfer window is proving to be historic for the Red Devils. Hey guys, what do you think of United's moves? If you liked the video, leave a like, subscribe to the channel and activate the bell so you don't miss any football news. Comment below, which signing excited you the most? And do you think Antony was right to force his departure? Share the video with that friend who is a United fanatic. And don't forget, we have new videos every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday. Next video, full Premier League analysis. Thanks guys, see you next time.